everyone. I'm really happy to see you all. So maybe you have seen me before. In any case, my name is Kate, and I am Amazy co-founder and CEO. I used to be an English teacher, and then we decided to make something meaningful for teachers, and this is how we started Amazy. So today we're going to talk about a very interesting and a very important topic, which is content monetization for educational content creators. So yeah, let me share my screen and we will start slowly. Yeah, so of course, content creation is super exciting, but what is more exciting is to generate some income out of it and to generate especially passive income. This is when you don't need to do anything else except just to post new lessons, right? To create content and people buy it. This is amazing. You don't need to spend your time actively teaching, because I know that, well, I know I've been there. This is obvious that teachers, to earn money, we need to spend active teaching time on it, right? So we don't have any a lot of different sources of passive income, and this is sad. Yeah, it's me, another hair color, but anyway, picture like of 2 years ago. So today we're going to learn how to set the price for your content, because this is one of the most important topics, I would say, for any business. Actually, Amazy is a kind of a platform that helps you to try yourself as an entrepreneur. Because to be a teacher is when you have just one task, right? Well, several tasks, of course, but your main job is to teach. You don't need to think about the audience, the market, the product market fit, and how to grow your business, how to scale your sales, etc., etc. But with Amazy, you can actually try different things about business, the good ones and the challenging ones, because business is not always about and sales. And monetization is not always about achieving great, well, it's about achieving great results, but sometimes it's quite a challenging route. Also, we will learn how to analyze and attract your target audience and showcase yourself as an expert. Also, of course, we will talk about how to create selling posts and lesson description, because sometimes you can create an amazing product, but because we do not have a lot of skills of, like, sales, and it's quite challenging to sell it. It's quite challenging to talk about it. I remember my first pitches of Amazy. It was like I was trying to pitch my project, and well, I did believe that it was an amazing project, and I did know that it would generally like have users and monetization. But when it came to talking to investors, I was like, my name is, and that was all. So it's also a skill, and we need to learn how to do that, right? Right now, I would like you to, I advise you to get a piece of paper and a pen, a pencil, and divide this piece of paper into 3 parts: your personal brand, your expertise, and your audience. So this is what actually a good sale consists of. Because when these 3 come together, the result is always great. When you know how to work with your personal brand, with your expertise, and with your audience, eventually the profit gets there. So this is very important for you, just to divide a piece of paper or to open notes on your computer and just try to brainstorm together with this group, together with me, and together with yourself. Personal brand, expertise, and audience. Let's look a little bit deeper into these 3. What is personal brand? I'm not going to tell you anything new. Maybe you have already had some webinars and maybe you have watched some videos about that. So basically, this is your authenticity, your background, your social media presence, and this is who you are. And sometimes for first-time entrepreneurs especially, and for first-time startups, for first-time founders, business people, it's quite challenging to actually understand your strong points. And this is why we always look at other people and we see that, yeah, this Instagram profile has a lot of success, or this YouTuber has a lot of success. I need to be like them. And this is a big mistake because it misguiding you. It's misguiding you in terms of finding your authenticity in order to sell it, right? The original stuff is sold much better than copies, right? So you need to understand your strong points and you need to be sincere with yourself about that. This is first thing you need to do. And getting there is sometimes challenging because this is also about a bit of psychological job, you know, maybe it goes together with understanding and accepting yourself, understanding and accepting your weak points, your strong points, and finding this balance between them. But it's also about people around you, your social media network, your colleagues, your professional path, your universities, your education. Sometimes, especially when we find people from these major universities like Oxford, like Cambridge, we feel a little bit not very confident about ourselves. And we think like, okay, I didn't have this education in London, so who am I in this huge market of online teachers, right? I don't have this British accent, I don't have this American accent or whatever, but it's not very, it's not what makes people to make these decisions to choose you. Because according to my experience, my personal experience, I think it's all about your sincere self-presentation. If you're honest with your audience, if you're honest with yourself, this is why people usually choose you. And this is why people usually love you. They like you, you get more popularity, you get more likability. There is a great book, by the way, The Popularity Illusion. Maybe you have heard about that. It is called, the full title is The Popularity Illusion, Why Likability Always Wins, and Why Status is Toxic and Likability Always Wins. I strongly recommend you to read it. It's all about how society works in these terms. Yeah, so when you create a profile on Amazy, try to display your background, your personality, and of course your experience, and some content. This content will reflect what exactly is inside of you, right? Unlike many other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, or any other platforms that help teachers to earn more audience, to gain more audience, to meet new students, Amazy is all about content, and it helps you to present your professional skills, not through talking, but through doing, right? Okay, let's move on. So we have two examples of, this is a good example of personal branding on Amazy and a bad one. So a bad one basically doesn't have any information. Well, presenting yourself is also about gaining trust. And if you give your audience enough information to validate your profile, to trust you, they will choose you. If you don't give them any information, if you give them not enough information, so don't be surprised. Nobody follows you, nobody buys your content, nobody wants to talk to you. People are afraid, and it's okay. We can understand them because, of course, there are a lot of different people online, and you never know who is behind of this page. So the more information you can give, the better. It doesn't mean you need to display any personal information, but in terms of professional information, it's very important to give some key bullets and social media links too. Yeah, how to showcase your expertise on Amazy? Well, as I have mentioned, expertise goes through your content. So first of all, you need to decide what kind of content you're going to produce. What is your product? And here, to brainstorm, we just offer you to think about several, like 6 different groups of content that we have developed, but they exist without us, of course, but we were just talking about this. groups of content when we had seminars like that and other communications with Amazy users. So there is evergreen content, which is always popular, which is always on demand. It's like grammar lessons, topics like family, topics like appearance, some general topics for general English course. Reactionist content is about hot news, media, and everything that goes viral on the internet. ESP, English for specific purpose, can be exams, can be narrow niche for professionals like English for IT, for example. Age specific also, you need to decide for yourself what kind of content you love most of all, what kind of content you produce and you enjoy it. Is it for teens, for young professionals, for kids, etc.? My favorite is CLIL, like this is my personal passion. I love it. This kind of content is not about the language. It's not focused on the language. It's focused on some other skills that we teach through language, right? So, for example, it can be soft skills course or leadership course or I don't know, product management course, anything that is taught in English. K-12 is a very big market. Also, this is basically the school education, right? And some can say that I don't like to work with kids. I love working with young professional people and with professionals, with top managers. It's very interesting. It's very challenging. Yes, it is. But on the other side, you need to understand, do you have access to this audience, right? And who is your, we will talk about this just in a second, but still, K-12 is much more popular area than English for top management, for example. So here, the success of selling content for this kind of audience will be higher, will be better. Couple of words about reactionist content is that here you need to be kind of an expert in media, because now we have a lot of different media sources of news, of different things that have been covered with these channels, like news from Silicon Valley about startups, news from, I don't know, medical research institutes, news from about different areas. So you need to understand your target focus here also, and you need to have the skill to create content very fast, and you need to enjoy that, because if you choose any niche that you do not really like, but you think, okay, it's profitable, I will go there, you will burn out and nothing good will happen. Believe me, choose what you love, it will pay off. Choose what you really enjoy, because you're going to, you will have to do a lot of work, right? You're going into that, and it doesn't mean that I will create only a couple of lessons and it will just boom. No, it's not like that. It's about hard working, of course. Evergreen content, I would say, is for people who love spending time on design, beautiful design, and who love working, you know, in this kind of pace, very not very fast, to have this balance between private life and career. So yeah, decide for yourself in terms of your interests, in terms of the audience you're going to work with, in terms of, let's say, your personal character, your personality type, what kind of energy you have, and what is your sincere focus of this energy, right? To create something fast, to create something slow, whatever. Also, do not hesitate to create your own type of content. It doesn't mean that there are only 6 types of content you can create. Of course, there are more, and you can be your best partner in brainstorm, right? Think about that, what kind of content you're going to create. Audience, this is my favorite topic to talk about, because sometimes when we want to sell something, we think, okay, I am an expert, like I have this certificate, that certificate, I have Salta, Delta, I have all the certificates, I am perfect. And yes, you are amazing. And this is when you want to create a lesson plan on Amazy, let's say, yeah, you invest in this lesson plan creating, let's say 1 hour or 3 hours, whatever. you created a masterpiece. Like really, it's very beautiful. It has a lot of useful exercises, vocabulary. It's really like high level content. And then you want to sell it. You don't think about your audience, but you think about your product, and you think your product is the best. That's why it's just the price should be $10, £10 per content piece, which is quite expensive in this market. But anyway, so you decide to do that, and then because you base this decision on your expertise, which is amazing. The expertise is amazing, but you don't think about your audience, and this is why the sale doesn't happen, because you're trying to sell high quality product to masses, just to people, to normal people, to regular customers who don't need it. It's overqualified. Like, you know, have you ever heard this phrase, you are overqualified for this position? The same is with your content. If this content is overqualified for your audience, the sale is not going to happen. So maybe you should not spend so much time on creating content. You should not spend so much effort. Just create something simple to start with and think about how it will match with your target audience. So first of all, you need to understand, is your content about narrow niche, or is your content about mainstream? Is it about like a mass product? Some people would say, I want to create a top level content for some specific niche, right? Because I do believe that it's more expensive. It's more rare, so I will not have a lot of competitors, which is true. But also, I don't think that people who go there, they realize the challenge is finding this audience and having access to this audience. So basically, if you already have, for example, corporate clients, corporate students who have the lessons with you, and you have contract with them, not through the school, it's important, right? But through the company, and you want to create some specific content about, let's say it's a game dev company, and you want to create a English lessons for game developers, and you already have this audience. Yes, it's a narrow niche content, and it's going to have a very positive results because you already have this audience and you have access to this audience. You can scale because you can go to the manager of this company, of the corporate client, and you can just offer them this subscription for the whole company for $1 for each person, for each employee, and they will enjoy it, they will love it, for example. But if you don't have this kind of opportunity, maybe it's better to think about some regular content, which is good for all the audience, not only this specific niche, right? If you don't have access to this niche, think about how could you get the success? How will you find this target audience of yourself? And also, they must be able to find you. So you should be the same locations, same places, same forums, online or in person, it doesn't matter for them. Then, if you want to create a lesson plan and the price is like £8, think about Netflix. They have monthly subscription for their service, and it's £8. So compare, just this is a market about the market of online purchases, online sales, online subscriptions. So we need to understand how much money this audience of yours is ready to spend, and how much money this audience earns, right? If your content is for teachers, you need to have in mind what is the average income of a teacher who is going to buy your product. If your content is for students, you need to think about how much money an average person from your target audience makes. If your target audience is if you teach the kids, if you create content for kids, think about their parents, how much money they're ready to spend for this kind of content, right? Or think about people who teach kids. Think about their average check, their average rate, their salaries, and how much money they earn. So you need to keep in mind actually two things: how much money your target audience earns and how much money they are ready to spend. Because if they earn a lot of money, it doesn't mean they're ready to spend much money on content, on educational content. So we need to keep it in mind. Also on Amazy, you have already seen maybe that you, at the moment, you have two options of monetization. First, it's single payment when you create a lesson plan and you publish it in community section, and then you just leave it there and somebody buys it. For example, the lesson plan can be like £3, right? And on the other hand, there is this profile subscription on Amazy where you can create a subscription for your profile right on the platform. And sometimes what I have seen, some users, sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of users actually, they put very high price for profile subscription. And I think it's a big mistake. And I think this is why, well, not only this reason, but this is also why they don't have a lot of subscribers, because the logic, I can understand the logic from the side of teachers. Like, you think I have created 50 lessons, each lesson is £2, for example, so I will create a profile subscription for £20. It's quite adequate, right? No, it's not, because profile subscription is a recurring payment. You need to remember that when you create a premium profile subscription. Think about a person who will get charged every month for this subscription, right? It's not just single time. It doesn't mean they just subscribed and they have access to all this content and they have used it and that's all. No, they're going to get back to that. They're going to remember about this content only when they need it. And the subscription should not be too expensive, of course. I don't know what is the ideal price, because it really depends on your audience. It really depends on what kind of people usually follow you, what kind of content you produce. But I would say anything like £1 to £5 maximum would be okay. Everything which is higher than £5 is not okay, because it's a recurring payment. And because there are a lot of different luxury, like really high level services that charge more, Netflix, Zoom, whatever, like a lot of different things. We need to remember about that. Before we continue, does anybody have any questions at this point? Please. Yeah.
We have one question from Osama, and it's about niches. It's about types of content you produce. Maybe we can go back to that slide.
Yes, of course. 1 second. Yeah.
So how many niches should you focus on to produce effective results?
It actually depends on you, my opinion. It depends on your time and on your professional skills. I think that this niches, these focuses, they need to be related. So for example, if you teach English for specific purpose, you can also teach CLIL, and also, I mean, you can also create content for CLIL. You can also create content for like every actionist sometimes, if there are some news related to your topics, or evergreen content as well. Again, if you teach teens and you produce content for teens, I don't think it's good to create also some content about soft skills, because they are not very related. Well, it depends. Again, okay, if you teach kids and if you produce content for kids, I don't think it's a good idea to produce content for soft skills development, something like that. Like, you need to be focused. You need to have this strong focus, one focus, but like vertical. But then also you have a lot of things you can actually develop using the background and skills you already have. Anything else? No.
I have one more question. Maybe setting a low price for subscription might give the impression that you're not good enough, especially if other teachers in the platform are much higher, have much higher subscription fees.
there is this thing in Amazy because it doesn't actually show any other profiles. It shows only content. So I wouldn't say that people are actually able to choose you among other people comparing prices on subscription profile because they see only content. And I don't think that there is no any catalog of content creators you can follow on Amazy with different prices, you know. This is why. No, well, it's a good question, really, but also we need to understand that people now, especially those who spend most of their time online, they teach online, they learn online, they study online, they sell, they buy online. We understand that it's like when you go online, there are so many geographies, there are so many places like New York or like, I don't know, Siberia, and the prices are so different. It also depends on the location. So I wouldn't say that this low price would make people feel bad about the content creator, because again, it's a specific culture, and the audience, it's vice versa, actually. The audience is used to having low prices. Well, not low, but it's not like 15 pounds per subscription, right? Have you ever seen any content creators on Patreon, for example, or any other platforms? Do you have any specific content creators you like? Maybe some newsletters you paid premium subscription for?
No, but I just sometimes look at profiles of my colleagues on Amazy and I see high subscription fees. So that's one of the reasons why I changed I used to put 10 pounds and then I changed it to 14 because I saw most prices are 18, 20 or over. So I thought maybe mine will look very low compared to others. So that's why.
Sama, mine is 3. Hurry up, subscribe before I raise it.
You know, this is why we are having this event, actually, because I will share some statistics, and the statistics says that there is only the success is only in single payments on Amazy.
Yeah, I actually sold the lowest prices, the lessons with lowest prices.
Exactly. So you
I
sell
wanted to say that, yeah.
lowest price content, single payments, but not subscription, because subscription, everyone puts just like 15 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds. And that's why, like, yeah, it's not good.
Yes.
You can see. Any other questions we have?
We have one more question from Yelena. Is there a good niche for food topics for someone who is studying food journalism? Is it popular amongst students?
The best way is to inspect if the topic is popular or not, to check, well, first, among what kind of students, where are they from, what kind of geography you're talking about, is it US, is it UK, is it Asia, what kind of students? When you understand your geography, you need to go on specific forums connected to this geography. If it's China, for example, you need to go to WeChat and you need to explore, you need to research there. If it's US, you need to go to Reddit and you need to research there. The answer is yes, because it's popular somewhere. It's a good topic. Why not? But you need to have this connection. Where exactly? And you need to find this audience. Here is the life hack. Do not invent a new niche. Look at your current audience, your colleagues, your students, people around you, and think about what kind of content would be interesting for them. You already have access to this audience, right? So try to monetize it. Yeah, the selling and fee part is difficult sometimes, yes. But there is the question from the chat. There is a problem for us teachers. We love teaching, but the selling and fee part is difficult sometimes. It's always difficult. I totally understand you. And the good point about Amazy is you don't need to sell actively. You just need to set a correct price for your product, and you need to think about what kind of product you develop, what kind of content. It should be related to your audience. That's all. You don't need to sell it actively. Yes, Marva. Hi, happy to see you.
Hi everyone, how are you? Hi. Okay, it's my first time, so I don't know that much. Let me ask a question about audience. First of all, do you sell like all over the world for some specific countries? This is my first
all over,
question.
all over the world.
Huh, all over the world. Okay. And concerning also customers, do you mean like teachers or mainly for business people, students, like who?
This is you who decides. You can produce content for teachers, lesson plans, ready-made lesson plans. You can produce content for students, like self-study course, for example.
Yeah, I think most of the time when we talk about, creating content for clear K-12 reactionist content, everything we've discussed here, mostly what we're talking about teachers who teach these students. So the teachers will buy a lesson from you to use in their class if they teach business English or specific purposes or things like that. But it does not have to stop there. Yes, you can also produce content for students, for self-study.
Especially you already have your audience. Yes, for example, you teach, you have students, you can produce some self-study content. You can say like, follow my profile, it's only $2, it's only £2. Like, yeah, like additional content. Or you can create some kind of intensive course for Christmas holidays. Some people don't have families and they use this time to improve their skills, right? Intensive course is always good idea to spend time, like to have this quality time with yourself to improve your skills. So maybe this one will be good.
One more question?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Again, because it's the first time here, I'm not sure about the platform. Is there a certain application or a website? If I can use it with my students, do I send them a certain link, or how can they
You can send them the
access?
link to your profile and they can follow, they can subscribe. This is a web page, amazy.uk/your profile, /profile/ the number of your profile. And they can follow you for money. So basically they can subscribe for your profile and they can have access to all the premium content you have created. Other people will not have access to this content. They will see only a small part of it. If they want to buy, they can buy it as a single purchase, or otherwise they can just follow you. They can subscribe for your profile. Or they can go, well, how people usually find you if they are not your students. They go to amazy.uk/community. This is the first page everybody gets into when they log in the platform. And even if they don't log, they don't log in, just they have this page in front of them, and they see this variety of lesson plans, and they can open every lesson. The premium lessons, they cannot see the whole content, but a part of it, as I have said. And then there is the author is displayed. They can click, they can go to your profile. This is how they can discover you.
I've also sent a link to our previous workshop. You can watch, like we discussed, everything there, how to use Amazy, how to share lessons, how to create lessons. And we also have a lot of other tutorials on our YouTube page. So
Thank you.
and also anytime join our chat and you can ask questions there as well. We have a wonderful community and everybody is always happy to help.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, let's move on. How to set price. Yeah, we have already talked about a comparison to other services. Again, Spotify, iTunes. Also, the thing is, you need to understand, yeah, geography is very important because depending on the geography, people are able to pay this or that amount of money. An example, LinkedIn in Argentina, one price, business account subscription. LinkedIn business account in the UK, the price is totally different, like totally 2 times higher. So it is called price localization. That's why it's very important to understand where is the most people of your target audience come from, or what kind of geography you want to build your small business? Well, maybe not small in the future. Well, anyway, what kind of geography you want to scale? China is very popular. Hong Kong is very popular. Asia is very popular destination. Also, US and Canada, despite the fact that it's like English-speaking countries, but never forget that these are the countries of immigrants, and people need to learn English. And there are a lot of people who whose English is not the native language, so we need to remember about that, right? Yeah, recurring payment, again, it's very important. And again, this is a very good lesson I have learned during all my entrepreneurship experience. When you think about revenue, when you think about expenses, when you think about investment, think about long term. Don't think short term. I do understand that sometimes for some economical zones, for some countries, it's quite challenging to plan. It's quite challenging to think long term, because this is just how economic works. Crisis happens, and again, crisis, another crisis, inflation, whatever. It's very challenging. But if you want to build a meaningful product, a meaningful business, reliable business, you always need to think long term. For example, annual revenue. Think about annual revenue. Don't think about how much money you will get if people buy this lesson this month. Think about annual revenue, and like you need to play for long distances, right? It's like a marathon. It's not 100 meters race, but eventually it gives you, like marathon gives you the long life. This kind of passive income gives you some additional days off during the year, additional revenue, additional income, where you do not put so much effort anymore. Because again, like when people create some content, they think about right now, and sometimes it doesn't have good influence on customer and content creator, consumer and creator relationship, right? Because sometimes it's very important to have this kind of relationship smoothly. And the same is with your students, the same is with your colleagues. Building a relationship is very important when it comes to content creation. So this is why we encourage content creators on Amazy. First, offer something for free, post it on LinkedIn, post it on Reddit, somewhere where you think is your target audience is. Give something before taking something, right? Because it's very important to build this positive relationship and trust among your with your audience. Remember about that.
We have a question.
Yes.
We have been talking about the fact that Amazy is a global platform and there are people from all over the world there. But then we're also talking about territories and geography of selling your content. Could you explain how that correlates?
This correlates that to start, you need to understand that you need to have first market. It's like any other product. Imagine, again, Netflix. Since today we have been talking about Netflix as well. Netflix started somewhere in some geography. They understood the market. They understood the people in this market, their behavior, and how to sell them. Then they scaled the project, and then Netflix is in Europe. It's everywhere in other geographies. The same is with your content. If you want to have a success case, your first case should be successful. Otherwise, it's very hard to find this motivation. So that's why it's a challenge to start. The first step is the most challenging one. This is why it's very important to concentrate on one specific audience, one specific geography, and to have some success case there. Then, when you already have some subscribers from this geography who pays this price, you can start creating something else, and you can start scaling. You can even create one more account on Amazy and adapt the same content, for example, for different audience a little bit and for different geography. Any other questions?
I think we can move on.
Yes, okay, thank you. Price, we have already talked about it, yeah. Then, when you have already created this masterpiece, these beautiful lessons, and you really enjoy looking at them. You really enjoy seeing that people copy it, they download it, they buy it, and everybody is happy. The lesson plans are in the community section on Amazy. Please don't think that this is all you need to do, because if you just leave it in the community section, it doesn't guarantee any success at all. We always need to be regularity. There needs to be a regularity, and we need to repeat the same actions over and over again, because we want to build this dependency with our audience, right? The audience is waiting for it. The audience is checking your profiles on social media, on Amazy, everywhere. Everybody needs updates. So publish new lessons regularly. So people will see your lessons on community, people will see your lessons in social media, in our communities on social media, everywhere, in Amazy newsletter. Regularity is, I think it's the most important area of trust, right? When you understand, it comes from psychology, right? When you understand that this person is predictable, I can see that I can predict some of these actions, and it repeats something over and over again, I feel safe next to this person. I trust this person. I want to give them my money. Also social media presence. You need to understand what is your top 3 or maybe top 2 social media, or maybe only one social media platform you use as an additional boost to your brand awareness and to gain in the audience. Maybe LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. What I can say from my experience, from Amazy experience, the audience on LinkedIn is the most not how to put it, it's not about professionalism, it's not about something like they are ready to buy content. No, I think it's the most people on LinkedIn, they want to study, they want to get something new, they are happy to get access to innovations, to technologies, and to discuss it on comments, and to share, to repost. They are very open to that. Facebook, yes, as well, but you need to understand some specific groups, right? So maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram. Instagram is good, but again, in comparison to LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram doesn't have this specific focus communities. And on Instagram, there is only you and your pictures. On LinkedIn, there are a lot of communities where you can actually post your content. When you post your content on social media, there is one very important thing that you always need to remember, and it's actually critical. Maybe any ideas? What is the thing I'm trying to talk about? It's not obvious for many people, but this is where it can give you a great boost, and on the other hand, it can cut you off the world, and you will not get any likes, any comments, anything. What is this?
How you present your lessons?
Yes, but we are going to talk about it. The thing I'm trying to mention is never put a link on your post. Put a link to your lesson in your comments. When you put any links, LinkedIn hates links, Facebook hates links, all the social media, they hate the links to other platforms. So this is why just mention the link to this lesson in the first comment. Please see it. When I first tried it, the views of the posts, the post had 6,000 views in comparison to how many 200 I used to have with the links. So this is a very simple tip. Try to use it and you will never regret. Then hook your audience. This is about the fact that what has been mentioned in this chat. We love teaching, but the selling and fee part is difficult sometimes. Yes. Hook your audience, selling posts, lesson descriptions. Even when you post it on Amazy community, try to give some description of this lesson in the very beginning, because this is where your potential customer will see the lesson and they will make a decision whether or not they need it. So give some not selling. I would not say that we need to be like, bursting in compliments about this lesson, like this is an amazing lesson, buy it, everybody will be happy. No, just give a short description of what kind of skills this lesson is going to help you train, and very short contents of this lesson. Part 1, like, or number 1, introduction, number 2, text about the family, number 3, or like listening exercise, number 4, test, number 5, video, blah blah blah, something like that, because people do not see the whole lesson plan, and they need to understand what they are buying because they are going to spend money on it. Yeah. When you create a post on social media, you need to give an interesting description of your lesson, but not too heavy, because sometimes the post is too heavy and people just don't have enough energy to read it until the end. So don't make it too long, right? Make it short, but make it catchy. This one is a very good to illustrate how to write lesson overview. Yeah, so you can see lesson overview after warm-up question, student read the passage, blah blah blah. So it is quite long for social media, I would say, but it is a very nice one to post on your lesson in Amazy community, because if a person is already here, this person is very interested in buying some content, or this person is choosing content for them. So this is a good time to talk about it. This audience has enough patience to read until the end. Yeah, clear description, not too heavy, not too short, not too long, some medium. And yeah, help teachers see what your lesson is about. This one, it's another example of a lesson on Amazy. Maybe you can share a presentation of what is this lesson about, just making screenshots, and your potential customers can see it because they can just zoom it and they can see what is the lesson about, that they cannot steal it because you actually show it in a very low quality, enough quality to understand the content, but not enough to use it at your lessons.
Can I add something? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is that if it's a premium lesson that you're selling, parts of the lesson will be hidden behind a paywall. We generally show 10% of the lesson, but no more than 10 blocks. So basically, if you add screenshots in this kind of presentation, that the person who is buying it, who is considering buying it, will be able to see what is inside the lesson, what parts of the lesson are included, what exercises are there, what they're actually buying, without having being able to copy it or do anything, so they just can see it.
Thank you, Paulina. Yeah, how to attract your audience. Osama is an expert, one of the people who managed to have some success in content creation on Amazy and gaining his audience. Yeah, good job, Osama.
Thank you.
So yeah, create a short post on LinkedIn, for example, or I don't know, Facebook, Instagram stories. What is your favorite platform? Depends on you. And try to have to give some description. The description can even include the price. Why not? It's a good idea because you save time people spend on reading this post, and it's always very important to remember that people who have money, they don't have time. So that's why if you want to help them save time, first of all, give them clear description with clear price, clear offer, and they will then decide whether or not they need to go further. Yeah. Again, a very important notice about links on social medias. Do not include them in the post. Include them first comment or second comment or whatever, any comment. That seems to be it for today. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for joining. Do you have any more questions? Let's have this Q&A session. Let's have this brainstorm. I hope, by the way, your notes now are filled with some ideas, with some important stuff like your audience, your type of content, and your product, your brand. So please share your ideas, any thoughts, any good or bad feedback. Okay, everybody already has a plan, right? Everybody wants to go on the platform and start creating. All right, perfect. Thank you very much then. Paulina, do you have anything to add maybe?
Well, I think we have to mention that business accounts also include unlimited use of our AI assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Will, make content creation so much faster and easier. Basic accounts can also use AI assistant, but only for 3 generations a day. So you can generate text, exercises, questions, whatever, only 3 times. But business accounts have unlimited access to it. So it makes content creation so much faster, I have to say. It used to take me hours. Now it takes minutes, less than an hour, much less than an hour, like half an hour sometimes. So, and also adding exercises to your students, generating extra questions, extra practice examples. I don't know. It's so much faster, so much easier to do. So highly recommend it.
Thank you, Paulina. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that because today we were talking about monetization. And I was like 100% focused on selling content and monetization. Sorry.
We did talk and showcase our AI assistant last time in our last workshop, and I've posted the link to it in the comments. So head on to our YouTube page and watch it if you haven't.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. So happy sales, everyone. Create content, try to gain your target audience. Good luck with that. This path is challenging, but it's truly rewarding. It's just so rewarding. You're gonna try it and you're gonna love it. Thank you for joining for us today. Bye. Have a nice evening or day.